Now it's time for our cherry on top. There was a Defense Tech Hackathon, and what we really need to do is announce the winner. So to do this, it's my pleasure to welcome Yair Sakov, founder and managing director of the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Pleasure to be here, honored to be here. What an amazing event. Thank you all for coming. So my name is Yair Sakov, and as I said, I'm the managing director of the Entrepreneurship Center. The center is a cross-campus entity. It serves all students in all faculties on Tel Aviv University. Actually, in two levels, we have developed an academic curriculum where students can actually pick courses in entrepreneurship and study entrepreneurship as part of their degree. So for example, you can get a degree in philosophy and entrepreneurship, or history and entrepreneurship, and of course, engineering and entrepreneurship. And in parallel to that, we have our experiential activities, where we have students experience projects and programs in entrepreneurship. I guess one of the most notable of them is our Jump Tau, our startup accelerator, considered to be one of the best accelerators, if not the best, in Israel. Over the last 5 years, we have generated over 110 startup teams, out of which 20 raised funds in excess of $180 million. Overall, in the last 5 years, around 15,000 students went through the activities of the Entrepreneurship Center, exposing our students to the entrepreneurship mindset and tools. And I guess it also should be noted that in global terms, Tel Aviv University is number 7th in the world in generating entrepreneurs students, and the only one outside of the US which is in the top 10 globally. So doing pretty well. As I said, we have quite a few extracurricular activities in our experiential area. I mentioned the accelerator. Another one of them is hackathons. We are carrying a number of hackathons every year in collaboration with the industry. And what I'm here to today is speak about one of them, which is the Battlefield Emergency Challenges Hackathon that we have executed together with Mafat, the research arm of the IDF. This hackathon was actually initiated honoring the memory of false soldiers who have died in battles due to lack of solutions to some challenges we had in the battlefield. Captain Eitan Oster, Sergeant Omri Tamari, First Sergeant Shachar Cohen Miftach, and Staff Sergeant Adi Malik. And the challenges that we encountered and were presented to us by Mafat. The first challenge was the challenge of, actually, I guess I actually have to use this will make it easier. Okay, so the first challenge was extraction of wounded from difficult to evacuate areas. We're talking about areas where, steep slopes, a lot of vegetation and so forth. So that was the first challenge. The second challenge was, oops, sorry about that. Okay, I guess it's a bit different than I thought. Anyway, tourniquet. How do you stop bleeding in areas where you can't really use a tourniquet to stop bleeding? And the third challenge was cleaning cameras. On many of the armored vehicles, the driver actually uses cameras to see outside and see where they need to go. And those camera eyes get dirty. And how do we clean these camera lenses autonomously so we don't need to have a soldier coming out of the armed vehicle and exposing themselves? Before we move on to presenting the winner of the challenges, I do need to have a few thank you words. So first and foremost to Nir Weingold from Mafat, who's been kind of the spirit behind this whole idea and behind the hackathon, together with his team, Peleg and Dror, and the entire Mafat team done a great job in helping us build this together. I wanted to thank the Cyber Center team, Gili Drove, Revital Yaron, and Diti Spivak. I also need to thank Professor Moshe Tzviran, the Chief Entrepreneurship Officer of Tel Aviv University, who's responsible for the entire entrepreneurship infrastructure in the university, and he's also my boss. So he's been kind of behind this and driving this and making sure that it will actually happen in a very, very short time frame. And of course, my team, Eti Finkelstein, who ran the hackathon, and Yael Koren, our marketing person, and Daphna Leopold, our operational person. So without any further ado, and also I need to thank, of course, our sponsor, Bank Hapoalim, who's been very kind to help us sponsor this very important hackathon. So without any further ado, I'd like to actually invite Gilad Yavetz to join me in presenting the winner. Gilad is a distinguished entrepreneur. He's the co-founder and CEO of Enlight Energy. Gilad is also the father of Iftach Yavetz, who fell in the Nir Oz battle in October 7th. So Gilad, can you please join me?
Hi. Iftach Yavetz, my son, was a squad leader and then the chief operation officer of the Maglan Commando Unit. At the 7th of October, he was at home at 6:30 when the siren began. And as you know, this day there were no organized order, unfortunately. So what he and his fellow commanders in the unit did was that in 15 minutes they decided independently to call up the whole unit soldiers and basically to rush upon their own initiative to the south in order to save civilians and communities. And I think everything that these heroes did at that day was to get as fast as they could to the fighting areas in order to save civilians. Eventually, Iftach and two other commanders at this day, at this battle where he died, were at Nachal Oz kibbutz and died in the liberation battle of this kibbutz. And I think thanks to their fast response, Maglan and Sayeret Givati units were able to enter into Nachal Oz and save many of these 400 people community that tragically 15 of them were killed by Hamas and 7 were taken to hostage. And I would like to share with you 2 short points that I take from that and maybe can connect to this very exciting event. One is that for me, 2 very important, say, aspects or points constituted the actions and decisions of these heroes this day, this horrific day of 7th of October. One is the bias to action. And the other is what we called frontline obsession. 2 very important points that I believe are very important also in other worlds. And for you as entrepreneur, I believe that can basically be one of the baseline of every successful startup or venture. And in our company, we try to teach a lot that to keep this DNA of always being in the forefront and trying to be always in action when things happen. The other thing that for me is meaningful is that I can share with you that at this day my son died eventually from loss of blood. And this is very emotional and meaningful for me to hear that some of the initiatives in this hackathon dealt with emergency medical aid. So thank you for that.
Okay, moving on. Competing in the hackathon, we had over 300 students that applied to compete, went through some rigorous screening process, and out of which 120 actually competed in the hackathon for 26 hours. They actually slept over in one of the libraries where the hackathon was held, 28 teams. And I want to present the first winning team of the medical challenge of extraction of wounded from difficult to evacuate areas. In that particular challenge, 9 teams competed, and the winning team is CSS. Please welcome on board. On stage.
Okay, so we know that most of us sometimes saying, I will be there in a minute. I will be there in a minute. But in our case, this minute, it's the difference between losing your teammate or saving him. Yeah. So we are the winning team from the first evacuation challenge, and our expertise from the medic side, we have Ofek, a paramedic in the 669 unit, myself, a squad medical commander in Peten 55. We have Liraz, intelligence analyst from the Northern Command, and we have our amazing engineer, Bar. So, okay, thank you. So the main challenges that we have is the rigid mountains, valleys, the cliffs, the boulders, and the fat vegetation in the northern areas. It makes the evacuation path really, really narrow, which for a traditional way of carrying the stretcher with 4 persons, we are too wide to go in these narrow paths. And of course, it slows us down. The second thing is the medical compatibility. We know that we won't change IDF protocols or any of the equipment. So we need that our product will be compatible with this. And then lastly, it needs to be simple, dummy-proof. After all, we want to spread it to all of the IDF. It needs to be lightweight, durable, fast to use, and easy to manufacture. So as I think that all of us can agree, the future is robotics, but it's not there yet, not from money-wise and not from the technology. And on the other side, you can see a variety of stretchers that the IDF tested, but still they don't give us the good solution. Our inspiration came from moving belts. I don't know which one of you moved this apartment, but nowadays the movers come with 2 straps. They put it under the furniture, and then in a second they just take everything off. How? The straps help them from the very critical few inches of the lift to make the lift from a squat position and not from their back. Then we went to do a reference verification. Over here you can see in this video, it's the Yachbats. It's a unit from the north, and you can see them evacuate someone in the northern terrain in a very narrow path with a modified special stretcher that got straps to their shoulders. And in the hackathon day, we took this design and we tried our prototype. If you can see here, there's a saying in Hebrew, Chovesh Panter, Chovesh Malter, but we just carried the bar with crossroad barriers and the straps. So from this, we went to other model. From trying to play with this, we came to this one. This model, in the beginning, is the straps. Instead of using 4 straps, instead of using 2 straps, we take 4 short straps. Each one of them have a quick connection, like a pipe clamp over here to the mounted side of the stretcher. Then we'll have this system to make the stretcher shorter and longer. We need it for 2 reasons. First, if we're going incline, we wanted the first carrier will have a longer strap, and the second one will have a shorter one to stabilize the stretcher. Second thing is after we lift the stretcher, we want to pull them and to waist it and to take it above waistline to be a lot easier to carry it. Then we'll have 2 holes. One hole to put the strap on the elbow if you want, and the second one to put it on your shoulder. Over there, we'll have in the red, we have a quick buckle to center the mass to your center of the chest or the center of the back. And lastly, we have the quick release button. This is because we're in evacuation. If there is any scenario, in a second, we can put down the stretcher and release ourselves and be ready to whatever we need. So on this video, you can see us walking around the campus with Seret Golani soldier over here. This is like the second prototype that we had. And the funny thing over here, you can't hear it, but he's talking with his friend on the phone and he's saying, hey man, I'm taking someone on the stretcher and talking with you on the phone. So these are the two main advantages that we had. First, we are only 2 persons we can go in a very narrow paths to take the stretcher. Second thing, your hands are free. The load is on your shoulders and your hands are free to hold your rifle, or in the first vegetation, you can hold boulders or trees to climb up the way. All of our model, it's very easy to use, and all of this, it's a top shelf product. So part of this is that we want to use it for tomorrow. We want now to go to the army. This one, we've done it with the Amlach of Yechidat Amiyud. Already yesterday, they helped us doing it because they really believed in this. And we want to help like today's soldiers. We don't want to wait a lot of time. Thank you for listening.
Amazing, just to show you that innovation can be very simple, kind of one of these things that, how come no one thought of this before? Thank you very much. The second team, second winning team, this is a team that won the medical challenge of constricting blood flow, or tourniquet, in junctional hemorrhaging, so it's areas where it's very difficult to stop bleeding. In this particular challenge, we had 14 teams competing, some great ideas. It was very difficult to choose the winning one, and I'm very pleased to bring on the team who won this with a very original name of Tourniquet.
So we had a problem in the hundreds of rescue missions that we were on and the over 300 days of reserve duty that we've been doing. No matter how fast we got there, no matter how deep into the battlefield we went, no matter how hard we trained, and no matter how hard we tried, if a soldier was wounded in a place where a traditional tourniquet couldn't be placed, it didn't matter what unit you were from, but they all sadly bled out. And for people who experienced it, it's the worst feeling in the world. And whereas 10 years ago, we were 18-year-old medics, now on October 7th, coming into the war, we were working in VC, we were physicians in hospitals, mechanical engineers. My name is Sam, my commander, Elad, Asaf, and Rotem. We decided to bring our civilian expertise onto the battlefield for a real solution: tourniquet. In Unit 669, we know the chaos of war, the grime, the dirt, the blood, and we know that you have to make decisions quickly. Simple. Things that aren't simple simply don't work. And when we went to design our tourniquet for junctional hemorrhages, we looked for something that was idiot-proof, small, and compact. When there's basically two issues. The first issue is trying to find something that could generate enough pressure to actually stop the subclavian artery. Take a step back. There are two places to stop junctional hemorrhages. One at the subclavian right here, the second at the femur. We decided to look at the subclavian because of the unique anatomical challenges it poses. Meaning, the subclavian artery goes behind and beneath the clavicular bone, and it's tremendously difficult to find. And even the most experienced doctors and medics often, if they found it, couldn't hold it. So let's say we had to find a way to first generate the force, and then find a way to fix that force throughout a patient's journey from the battlefield to the evacuation vehicle bouncing around, to the helicopter flying, and ultimately get back to a hospital. Our device, as we'll show now, uses a harness that's fixated by 4 straps and then secured by a bolt on the subclavian artery. you'll see now 2 people are doing it, but one person can operate the whole thing by themselves. It hurts a lot, so watch out. And now Asaf is hands-free. He was checking the radio pulse. Asaf is hands-free, and he can now continue to treat other wounded soldiers or protect himself with the peace of mind that he stopped the bleeding and that his friend is going to be okay. Now, throughout the war, we were given other products that were similar or tried to fix this problem of junctional hemorrhages, and either they were very tough to use, as you can see in the picture, or ultimately, they weren't effective. Now, as you see, what we're bringing to the table is a solution that was envisioned by medics in the battlefield, designed by medics in the lab at the hackathon, and we hope that one day very soon will be used by these same medics to treat wounded soldiers and save lives that ultimately need to be saving. Thank you very much.
Amazing, thank you. Thank you very much. And our last winning team, this is the challenge of cleaning system for armed vehicles driver's camera. And the winning team is Team Adi. Please come up.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, it is an honor for us to stand before you today as proud representatives of this respected institution, as members of the academic reserve of the IDF, the Atoda Academit, and as representatives of the Jewish community of Israel. We come here not only as individuals, but as voices of a heritage rooted in unity, wisdom, and sacrifice. A heritage that has shaped our values and brought us to this very moment.
The idea we present addresses a challenge faced by soldiers. Military vehicle cameras are essential for navigation and awareness, often become obstructed by rain, dust, or mud. Cleaning them manually puts soldiers at unnecessary risk.
Our system is designed to keep camera lenses clear automatically, without the need for external intervention. A transparent and shielding film continuously rolls over the camera lens, ensuring a fresh and clean surface at all times. When the lenses are obstructed by rain, dust, or mud, the film advances with a click of a button, restoring clear visibility within seconds.
So the system is designed with 2 layers of film, each one of them adjusted to the specific wavelengths of light used by the cameras it covers, ensuring optimal performance in all conditions. With a press of a button, visibility is restored instantly, ensuring safety, uninterrupted awareness without external intervention.
With the rolling film system, soldiers no longer need to leave the safety of their vehicles to clean cameras manually. This not only improves their safety, but also ensures uninterrupted awareness, a critical factor in the success of any mission. This durable, low maintenance, and robust system enhances mission success and protects soldiers in the harshest of conditions.
As members of the Druze community, we are proud to contribute to the strength of this country with innovation and determination. We hope this idea inspires action and saves lives in front lines.
Thank you for the opportunity to share this vision. Together, let us ensure safety and clarity for the brave men and women of the IDF. We thank you all, and we hope for a return of our hostages back home.
Thank you very much for organizers of this hackathon for honoring our son. Thank you for all the audience that came here and For the students and the entrepreneurs, thank you for your initiatives, innovation, and creativity. We need it. Thank you.